Okay, show you what I'm doing here on the hood. I've got this front end set pretty dang close. The door gap, the door heights, both these doors are exactly the same. After all that post straightening, it worked out pretty good. Got that gap set pretty good. And then I've kind of marked inside, or on the outside from the inside, of what I need to remove. That's going to be a little small hole at first. And then I'm just going to cut and cut and cut until I get that blower just to come right out of there. And hopefully have it a real good reveal on the blower. Maybe we could leave it like that. So I'm going to get this cut. Just cutting that little square out. And then we'll get a look at it, see how it looks. But it's a good looking stance at this height. I've got it raised 5 more millimeters. Trying to get just a little bit more out front, but might work right here. Finally, the moment of truth here. I'm fixing to tack weld the body in place. I'm going to tack weld it right here on both sides. And then start setting this back post, make sure all that's in the right spot, and I'll tack weld it here. And then I'll just start working this post in. I'm going to go around and measure everything one more time, but as it stands, where that door sits in relationship to that roof is exactly on both sides. The vent windows is exact. The height of here to there in relationship to the car is exact. I mean, I have measured it 6 ways to Sunday. It's got to be to the millimeter of exact, because if this post, like if I got that top of that post 1 millimeter back, that's going to translate out to about 3 or 4 time you get out front, and none of that front end's going to set. But I have lowered this body down to where that blower has come out of the hood at that exact spot and exact height. And it takes a lot of setup because I have to have every piece together and then lower this thing, build it all, and see where it sits in that hood, and then trim the hood and all that. So it's been quite a bit to get to this point, but so far so good. Give you a little look inside here. So I'm fixing to set it up and weld it. You can see I've got plumbs set down. I got your car perfectly level, and I got plumbs set down off of this roof, which I have measured and made sure that they're in the exact spot width-wise, and then measure that off that seal of the blue car. It tells me that roof is in the exact center of the hellcat. So so far so good. Fixing to weld, then measure, then weld, then measure, and weld and measure, and do quite a bit of that. But it's really setting good, looking good, and coming along nicely. A lot of measuring, lots and lots of measuring. Alright, TJ, I got this on the lift here, and I've got these other stands under it, and I've got it where I can tune it to exactly where it needs to be. So right now I've got it dialed back to the marks on the door, and with just a little bit of a crown in it, and that's where I'll put it back at, just to have a little bit of post tension in it. But what I'm doing now is I'm going to cut this all out, and then we're going to put some angle in there, and then triangulate that angle, which will be pretty strong for what we're doing. This one here I've been cutting for a bit, and I've got it cut all the way to here. Fix to take this one out, hopefully, and get all this cleaned out, and I'll show you what this looks like in just a minute. Alright, I got her all cut out. You can see how good that's going to work out. I get my angle in there. I'm going to run it all the way from pinch weld to pinch weld. So right here I'll be able to weld it there, and all the way back in. And right now I'm going to fit the rocker panel, and then I'll know how much area, how big I can make my bolster. So that rocker panel comes out enough, I won't have to take off so much on this edge of it, make it a little stronger. Yeah, a little before and after. So this one, I just got done cutting this loose, which is quite a long cut with the cutoff wheel. I used about 6 wheels, I think it is, and fixing to pop it off. I mean, it's really close to coming off here. And then over here I've got your 3/8 bolster installed, and you can see how nice that is. So that's 3/8 thick there, and then welded all the way down and set with just a little bit of post tension in it, and then this rocker panel cover will go right back over that. So that's a very good call on this. installing this display. It turned out very, very nice, very strong. Alright TJ, I just wanted to show you these bolsters so you can remember this. This is at 4 by 4 by 3/8 angle, and I'm fixing to do this cut right here, and I've got it all set up, and it's a good little cut right here. Takes all my plasma cutters. Got it. The last one would kick the breaker twice. So this time I've got all the mill scale off, and I've got it pickled, treated, and secured, and new tips, and hoping I'll go through it pretty good. But yeah, it's a pretty good job right there. And here's the car, and there's that one that's still about where it was last time I got it sealed up. And this one I just cut out this morning, and I've got my numbers up here on my door where I can reset that alignment on these. So I'll move this front up just a little bit. Right before I set that, I'll reline all those numbers the exact spot, but I'm going to leave it down just about a 1/2 millimeter just to put a little bit of tension on that, because it'll be pushing up quite a bit, and then I'll finish the rest of it out when I put all the support in right here, square it all right back up. Alright TJ, I want to show you how this works. I always think it's pretty cool when you stretch this back out. When I cut this, it got that edge hot, and then when it cooled, it tightened that whole edge, so you can see in the camera that curve in that. I'm going to come back here, I'm going to clean this off, cut those corners off right quick, and then take these 2 hammers and just smash that back out, and it'll be as straight as an arrow here in just a minute. Those ends cut, and it all ground down, and the slag off of it, so I can stretch this edge. And I wanted to show you how this works, because I always think it's pretty cool. I just go right down this edge with this big hammer and this other big hammer, and just smash that corner out, or that side out where it got shrunk. And maybe go down it once, come back one more time, and it'll be dead flat, perfectly straight. So I'm going to run down through here a couple times, and then you can see that curve in it in the camera, and watch what it does for it. Alright, now you can see how straight that is. I've got this straight edge on it. It's laser straight. And yeah, all I did is just went down there, and it did about every 3/16 of an inch. I just hit that edge and just relieve all that tension, and that thing straight as an arrow. So I always think that's cool when I do that. Tack welded in. I've had a pretty good day with it, getting it cut pretty good, getting it cleaned up real good with that plasma cutter, and got it real good and straight, and rounded all the ends, and did all that out there on the table, because now that I know what all needs to be done, this one will go in beautifully. And was able to cut it a lot more accurately, because I already knew where to cut it and all that. So the second one's always a lot easier and quicker. And I've got it treated on the back side. It's been pickled, it's primed. This side I'll do the same once I get it all in place. But so far so good. It's in the exact same spot as the other side. It's exactly the same distance down here. So I shoved the other one up as hard as I could get it up against the bottom of that plate that I cut off on that side. Did the same over here. Both sides come out to be exactly the same front and rear. So that tells me this body's pretty dang close on there as well. So anyways, I'm going to pop all these vice grips off, and then finish welding it all up, and prep it, then I'll seam seal it all around, and yeah, it'll be good to go.